Hello everyone, welcome to this session of Class 6 Mathematics. I am your Anu again for mathschool.1. Now, we have been seeing the chapter 3 playing with numbers, and we have started with the problems in the chapter, and I have told you the methods to find out the HCF and LCM. We have also seen about numbers, various type of numbers, isn't it? Prime numbers, odd and prime number, odd and even numbers, prime and composite, then twin primes, co-primes, and perfect numbers too. Now let us see some more examples where we have to find the HCF, LCM, and we'll also see the application problems in that. Okay, now we'll move on to the problems. Our chapter is playing with numbers, chapter 3. Now, let me give you a type of problem which tells you the relationship between the HCF and the LCM. Okay. So now there are two numbers, say 40 and 48. Okay, there are two numbers 40 and 48, and their HCF is 8 for you. Okay, so now we need to find the LCM. So what is the LCM? Actually, how do we find the HCF and LCM? By doing the long division method or prime factorization method, and we also have many other methods to find HCF. But how do we find LCM without doing all those methods? We have a relationship like HCF into LCM is equal to product of the two given numbers. So this you need to keep in mind. This is like a formula, and you need to keep in mind, and whenever either HCF or LCM is given, or if HCF and LCM is given and one of the numbers is given, you will be able to find out the other number. So there are four numbers in this HCF, LCM, and there are two numbers which are in product. So out of these four numbers, whichever is asked, you will be able to find out using this relationship. The others are given for you. So now we are given with HCF and we need to find the LCM by using this formula, isn't it? So how do we do? The relationship is HCF into LCM is equal to 40 into 48, and for HCF we have 8 here, isn't it? So LCM is equal to 40 into 48 divided by 8. So 8, 6 are 48, so you have 240 as the LCM. Now you can very well find out by doing the long division method. You can check whether the LCM is right or not. So you have 20, 24, you put 2 here, 10 and 12, 5 and 6. So for 5 it is 5 here, and this is 5, this is 1, and bring this 6 as it is. For 1 and 6 I am carrying forward this here. So 2, 1, 3, and I put 3 here, so I get 1, 1. So you multiply all the numbers in the left side. So 2 2s are 4, 4 into 10, that is 5 2s are 10, isn't it? So 10 into 4 is 40, and 40 into 6 will give you 240. So the LCM is right. What we have found out by using the relationship, LCM is right. So now you have a new formula like HCF into LCM is equal to product of two numbers. By using this formula, you can find out either the HCF or LCM or one of the numbers if the other three is given for you. So this is one type of problem involving HCF and LCM. Okay, the other type, see, that is if there are two numbers, like you have some two numbers and sum of the two numbers is given. The sum of two numbers is 216, take, and the HCF is given to be 27. Okay, so here sum of two numbers is given and HCF is given. You need to find the two numbers. So what are the numbers? So now we will find out the numbers. Okay. So how do we find out the numbers when the sum of two numbers is given and the HCF is given? So that for that I will just explain you with a simple example so that it will be more clear for you. See, let us take 4 and 8. Okay, simple numbers. 4 and 8. I find HCF for these two. 2 and 4, 2, 1 and 2, 1 and 2. Again I have 1 comma 1. Okay. So now you can see. So what is the HCF of these two numbers? 4 and 8. You have, see, 2 and here you have 4. And again I am writing here 1 and 2. Okay, 1 and 2, they can't be divided by 2, isn't it? Because 1 and 2 don't have any don't have any factor in common, so you should not put 2 here. So it stops with 1 and 2, so just 2 and 2. The HCF of 4 and 8 is equal to 2 into 2, which is 4 now. So we have HCF 4 for 4 and 8, isn't it? Now what I need to do is I take the sum of these two numbers. 4 plus 8 is 2 and 12 and HCF is 4 I have. Okay. So you just imagine we don't know the number 4 and 8. Just the sum is given as 12 and HCF is 4. Now how do we find out the 4 and 8? So for this what I do is, now 4 can be written as 1 into 4 in terms of HCF. And 8 can be written as 2 into 4, isn't it? So the numbers can be represented by the HCF. It is like this. So 4 can be written as 1 into 4 and 8 can be written as 2 into 4. Now you just imagine that we don't have the number 4 and 8. As per our question, we don't know the number 4 and 8. Hence, we don't know the number to be multiplied here, isn't it? We don't know the number to be multiplied. So let us take the two numbers to be x plus y is equal to 12. And we represent this x and y as some number into 4 and some number into 4. Some number b into 4. Okay. So this x has to be represented by a into 4 and y as b into 4. This 4 being common because it is the HCF of both the numbers it is given here. So this added to a into 4 added to b into 4 will give you 12 again. Now we can write this as 4a into 4b is equal to, even this 12, the sum of two numbers can be written in the form of HCF. 4 into 3. Okay. So now 4 being common in all the terms, I divide throughout by 4. So what I get a plus b is equal to 3. You understand? I divide throughout by 4 and I get a plus b is equal to 3. Okay, now what I need to do is, I need to find a and b, the combination of a and b, so that I get 3 here. So the combination is 1 comma 2. That is, if I put a1 and b2, or if I put a2 or b1, both are same. So you get 3 here, isn't it? No other combination will give you 3. 3 and 0 of course will give you 3, but 0 is not 0. You should not use 0, isn't it? Because the HCF has to be 4, and if there is an HCF, there should be two numbers and one number can't be 0 in it. That should be some numbers. Okay, so 0 is not accepted. So 1 and 2 are the combinations. So a and b takes the value of 1 and 2. So now if I put here 1, 4 into 1 becomes 4 and 4 into 2 becomes 8. See, now you got the numbers 4 and 8. So that is how, when sum and HCF are given, we'll be able to retrieve the numbers, original numbers, by rewriting the numbers in terms of HCF. Okay, do you understand? This is the principle behind the sum. So let us move on to the original sum. So what is the sum? Here the sum of two numbers is 216. We don't know the numbers, so let us take it as x plus y. As we have done that x plus y is equal to 12, we take it as x plus y is equal to 216. Now this can be represented, this x can be represented in terms of 27, isn't it? By multiplying with some number. and y also can be represented by HCF by multiplying with some number, which will give you 216, and this 216 can also be represented by HCF, and that is 27 into 8, because 8 sevens are 56, it gives you 6 in the units place, and yes, it is 216. So 27 into 8. See, now we have 27 throughout. I divide throughout by 27. So what I get? I get a plus b is equal to 8. See, there I got a plus b is equal to 3. I found the combinations, isn't it? So likewise, we need to find the values for a and b, which will give you 8 now. So let us start with 1, 7, 2, 6, 3, 5, and 4, 4. And the next thing is again the same. It has to, it will give you the same result. So you need not repeat them. Even if the order is changed, you are going to get the same numbers, isn't it? So 1, 7, 2, 6, 3, 5, and 4, 4 are the maximum possible combinations you can get for a plus b is equal to 8. And now what you should see, the second thing what you should see is, you have to select such combinations so that the numbers are co-prime. See, 1, 7, 2, 6, 3, 5, and 4, 4. 2, 6 is not co-prime and 4, 4 is not co-prime. Why? Because co-prime numbers, we know they have no other common factor, no other factor in common other than 1. So these two numbers have common factors other than 1, that is 2. Isn't it? 2 is another common factor, and for 4 and 4 also 2 is another. 2 and 4 are another common factor other than 1. So these two combinations are not possible. Therefore 1, 7 and 3, 5 are co-primes. So we take these two combinations, so that put it in this equation. So what you get for 1, 7, what you get? 27 into 1 and 27 into 7. So you get 27 and 189, isn't it? Sorry, 27 into 7 gives you 189. And for 3, 5 you have 27 into 3 and 27 into 5, that is 81, and this will give you 135. So what are the numbers which will give you the sum 216 and their HCF is 27? We have 27, 189 is one set of number, and the other is 81 and 135 is the other set. These are the possible sets of numbers, pair of numbers, which will give you the sum as 216 and the HCF to be 27. Okay, so that is how you proceed with the problem. Hope you understood. So the first thing you need to remember while doing this type of sums, either you can get the sum of numbers to be a value, or you can also have the problem like product of two numbers can be given and the HCF is also given. Then you need to proceed with the product. So first thing you need to remember is, we can represent the unknown numbers, sum of two numbers or product of two numbers. The two numbers are unknown here, and the unknown numbers can be represented by x and y. Okay, and that x and y numbers can be represented by in terms of HCF. So HCF into some number, then HCF into the other, some number will give you the other number. Okay, so either the sum or the product is asked. So is given, you can represent the two numbers in terms of HCF. That is the first thing you need to remember. The next thing, the last thing you need to, when you reduce the equation and you get a condition like a plus b or a into b to be some number, you need to find the maximum possible combinations. And in those combinations, you need to take the combination which has co-prime numbers in it. Okay, so just co-prime numbers are allowed. The rest of the numbers is not possible. Do you understand? We have to take only the co-prime numbers. Okay, so that is the sum. That is the next type of sum. So the next type of sum we are going to see is the ratio. The ratio of three numbers is 1:2:3. So three numbers are in the ratio 1:2:3, and their HCF is 6. So how do we find the numbers here? So here too, I would like to take some simple example to show you what is the relationship between the HCF and the ratio. Now let us take some number that is known. So the ratio, the three numbers are not known here, but the ratio is known, isn't it? So we'll take some number whose ratio, whose numbers are known. Okay, so let us take it like this. 4, 12 and 20. So I take three numbers, that is 4, 12 and 20 are the three numbers, and I find the HCF for all the three numbers. So I write 2, 6, 10, again 2, 1, 3 and 5. So I stop with this. I have 2 into 2, 4. So for the three numbers 4, 12 and 20, 4 is the HCF, isn't it? So 4, 12, 20, I have the HCF as 4 now. Okay, now what I can do is, this 4, 12 and 20 are numbers. I need to bring them to their simpler forms. Okay, why do we need to bring them to the simpler forms? So for that I need to say about something about ratio. If I write 4 divided by 12, I bring this to simpler form. So what do I do to make this to simpler form is, I divide both the numerator and the denominator by its common factor. So what we are doing, so actually we have been studying about the common factors, that is the HCF, that is the highest common factor. So we know the HCF of 4, 12 and 20. So we have the HCF here. So divide the numerator and the denominator by the HCF. So we have 4 divided by 4 is 1 and 12 divided by 4 is 3, isn't it? So this fraction actually is reduced to its simpler form. The simpler form means the numerator and denominator doesn't have any other common factor other than 1. That is, in terms of co-primes, we say co-primes, these numerator and denominator numbers has to be co-prime numbers. Okay, so 1 divided by 3 I write. So this is what is written as 1 is to 3. So the ratio can be written in the form of fraction too. So 1 is to 3, it is in the ratio 1 is to 3. So now what we do is, I reduce all the numbers to its simpler form, to its lowest form. So I divide throughout by 4, I get 1, 12 divided by 4 is 3 and 20 divided by 4 is 5. So how do I write this is 1 is to 3 is to 5. Why I need to write it in the ratio form 1 is to 3 is to 5 is, I represent the numbers that the numbers are in the ratio 1 is to 3 is to 5. It means the first number is one part, that is 4. 4 is one part. Okay, 3 parts of the original number will be the second number. Then 5 parts of the original number will be the third number. So that is what means by the ratio. Okay, so how do we find the original number? Actually from this we have found out the ratio by dividing it by the HCF, isn't it? By dividing throughout by its HCF, I have got the ratio. Okay, so now how do we get back the original number? Just by multiplying it with HCF, isn't it? So 4 into 1 becomes 4, 4 into 3 becomes 12 and 4 into 5 becomes 20. So it means the number 4 is one part, 3 parts of it is 12 and 5 parts of it is 20. Okay, so that is what we understand by the ratio and the HCF. Now it will be easier for you to find out the numbers where ratio is given and the HCF is given. So what I need to do, the ratio is 1 is to 2 is to 3. I just multiply this with the HCF and I get 6, 12 and 18. So these are the numbers which I need to find. That means one part is 6, 2 parts, so the original number is 12 and 3 parts of it is 18. So that is how we get numbers from the ratio. You understand now? So this is how we find out numbers when the ratio is given. Okay, so the next sum will be, I told you we can reduce the the fractions in terms of to its lowest form or the simpler form or the standard form by dividing it by HCF, we said, isn't it? So we'll do some examples regarding that. See, 161 divided by 207 we have, and the second sum we have is 296 by 481. Okay. Now we need to find, the first step is we need to find the HCF of these two numbers. So how do we find HCF of these two numbers? When we have larger numbers, don't go in for prime factorization method or long division method, because you need to search for factors, isn't it? So you need to recall all the test of divisibilities, and you need to, it's well and good if you remember the test of divisibilities and you're able to find the factors. Otherwise, you can go in for the division algorithm, which will give you easily the HCF. You can find the HCF easily. That is the dividend. Take the largest number to be the dividend and take the divisor as the smaller number, 161 into 1 times, because 161 into 2 will go more than 207, isn't it? So 161 into 1 plus, what is 207 minus 161? That will be your remainder. So plus 46. Now this 46 is your remainder. So how do we get this? This is actually division algorithm. Dividend, this is divisor, this is quotient. See, the larger number is always the dividend, the smaller one is the divisor, that is in the question. You don't mistake it. Actually 207 is here in the bottom and 161 is in the top. Okay, so this is the dividend and this is the divisor. No, I'm not talking about the fraction. I am talking about the HCF of two numbers. So I've taken the two numbers out and I'm finding out the HCF. So for that, the larger number will be the dividend and the smaller one will be the divisor, and this is the quotient and this is the remainder. For the next step, see the divisor and the remainder alone. Quotient is not of much significance in this method. So divisor and remainder. Divisor is the largest number, so you take it as dividend here and put this 46 in the divisor's place. See, 161 comes here and 46 comes here. So now 46 in terms of 161 you need to represent in terms of 46. Okay, so 46 into 3, let me try. 18 carry 1, 12, so 138. You get 138 plus 46 will go more than 161. So 46 into 3 plus, what is 161 minus 138? 3, 23. Okay, 23 is your remainder. Now you have 46 here as divisor and 23 is your remainder, isn't it? So bring 46 to the dividend side and bring 23 to the divisor side. Now 23 and 46, isn't it? It is perfectly divisible. You have the remainder 0. So when you see the remainder 0, you should see the divisor which is responsible for getting a remainder 0. So this is your divisor which makes you get remainder 0, isn't it? So 23 is your HCF. So this will become your HCF. See how easily we find HCF by this method for larger numbers. Now after finding HCF, just divide 161 divided by 207. See, 165 divided by 161 divided by 207 should be divided by 23. Both numerator and denominator has to be divided by 23 because that is the HCF, isn't it? So dividing it by 23, 23 into 7 will give you 161. Okay, 7. And 23, 7 in the units place, isn't it? So 23 into 9 will give you 207. Okay, so 7 divided by 9. I have reduced 161 by 207 as 7 by 9. So 7 by 9 is a simplest form of 161 by 207. Now you understood how we reduce a given fraction to its lowest form by using HCF. So likewise, we find HCF of 296 and 481. Take the larger number 481, you represent it by 296. Now 296 into 1 plus 481. It is not necessary that every time you start with 1, because if you put 296 into 2, it becomes more than 481. So that is the reason I write into 1, 5. And now this is 7. 7 minus 9 is 8. 3 minus 1 is 185. Okay, 185. Now bring this 296 to this side and put 185 here. 185 plus 185 will be more than 296. So 185 ones are 185, and 296 minus 185 will give you 111. 111 is the remainder. Now you take 185 here, represent it by 111. Again 111 into 1 plus, what is this? Subtract 185 minus 11, you get 4 and 7. You get 74. Okay, so bring this 111 here and 74 here. So 74 into 2 will be more than 111, isn't it? So 74 into 1 plus, what is 111 minus 74? 11 minus 7 is 7. 11 minus 4 is 7. and 10 minus 7 is 3. I get 37. See how it is getting reduced. 74 is equal to 37 into 2. So it perfectly divides. 37 perfectly divides 74. So you get 37 as the HCF. So this is your HCF. Now divide both these numbers 296 and 481 by 37. Okay, so 37 is there. Here you get 6 in the units place, so multiply it with 8. So 8 7s are 56, carry 5 3 is 24. Yes, perfectly 296. And 481 into 37. So when do we get 481? So that is 37 into I write 13. 21, carry 2. 3 3s are 9, 11, 7 and 1. So 4, no, this is 281, isn't it? You need to get 481. Cut this off. So 37 into 23, let me try 21, 11, 14. Okay, this becomes great. So I get, yes, sorry, I get exactly 8 divided by 13. So 8 divided by 13 is the simplest form of 296 by 481. Just by dividing it by HCF, we get the lowest form or the simplest form. So now you understood how we use HCF in these problems to find out the reduced form or the lowest form. So these were some of the examples we saw about HCF. Okay. So this up to this I stop this class and I end this class, and in the next class we will be seeing about LCM and some application problems too. Until then, it's bye from Anu for MathSchool.1. Thank you.